jumping in, this is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Beast Hunters Predacons Rising Darksteel, which here in the United States is a Target-only exclusive, and it's a repaint of the Beast Hunters Grimwing figure. As you can see, you get the nice new packaging. One thing that I am noticing is that it's very much like a Canadian packaging in the fact that it has a whole bunch of different languages, such as French and Spanish. And you come around here to the back, it has got a much shorter bio. And it says that Darksteel is ready to annihilate the Autobots in glorious combat. And that's it. But you can see the different languages, much like the actual Canadian packaging would have it. So I don't necessarily understand why they're doing it, but the only thing I can think of is they're doing it this way so that they don't have to do different packaging for stores up in Canada and international, I guess. But there you have it. Very nice packaging. I really do like it. I can't wait to see the Predacons Rising movie, which I do believe comes out in October. But as I said, it is a repaint of Grimwing. You got the nice Predacon logo there, the image there, and like I showed there, his tech specs. And then obviously there's Skylinks, which I also got, and we'll see how that turns out. But that's really about it for the packaging. It's nice, it's new. And as far as I know, there's not any remolded bits or anything. It's just a straight repaint of Grimwing. So this should be a fairly quick review, but without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. So here we have Darksteel open up and out of its packaging, and one thing that I wanted to comment on is I thought maybe they would have an extension of his bio written inside here, but there appears to be nothing, just the instructions. And one thing that's actually interesting is they don't even name this little thing. It's just actually referred to as a grapple launcher. Now, the original one was called Blackbeak, so this is just, again, a repaint of that original mold. Nothing spectacular going on here. I do actually dig the weapon, but it's really weird with his mouth in there and stuff, and then you got the bit that detaches here, and then you can unwind all that and everything. I really do like that. I think that's a really cool way of having, I'll get that up in there, a weapon had that spring-loaded gimmick kind of thing where the string is actually still attached to it. I really do dig that. So setting that out to the side though and coming over to the Darksteel, here you have them. And like I said, it is just a repaint of Grimwing, but this is a really nice repaint. I really still like that coloring on Grimwing himself, but this, it just has with a dark blue coloring in the gray, just really looks very nice. He is still an Ursa Griff, I would imagine, but again, none of the bio stuff really depicts any of that. But because he's repainted, we get a lot more nicely painted detail. So for comparison, here he is, and here's Grimwing. And one thing that you're going to see is, like I said, a lot of the painted detail comes out in the molding because it's actually painted on this figure as opposed to this one. Like for example, here on the shoulder bits, which you'll be able to see a little bit better in the robot mode, it's molded in there and it's actually got this orange paint in here. I mean, this doesn't have anything, which is really unfortunate. You got the same logo under here that you have here, so that's nice. Let's see what else. I mean, obviously here on the forearms, oh, it's only on this one forearm. I didn't even notice that before. But again, you got the molded in bits right here, but this is actually filled in with paint, which looks really nice. And again, robot mode, we'll get to more of the stuff here, especially here in the chest and everything. So essentially it is the same figure, just very nicely painted. And one thing that I'm actually noticing is that on the inside here, zoom in so that you can see that and get the light reflecting, you actually got another little logo right there that I didn't even notice, honestly, on this. I mean, it's there, but for some reason that stood out a little bit more to me. So that's a really cool touch. But here you have the two, and like I said, just for some reason, I think the coloring on this one just looks so much nicer. That's not to say that I don't like Grimwing still. I still love the coloring on this. I just think if you're kind of strapped to decide which one you want in your collection, I honestly would probably pick Darksteel. It just has a much nicer, much more striking kind of color. Now, I do like the silver on Grimwing's beak here, whereas this is orange and you got this gray bit down there, whereas that's a little bit of silver right there and a little bit of green. So really, overall, a very nice alt mode. It is ridiculously simple. I mean, there's no question about it that the transformation on this is insanely easy to do. But because we did cover it here already with Grimwing, I'm going to go ahead and skip it just to kind of shave some time off the review. So that being said, we're going to take Darksteel here, go from his, Ursa Griff mode to his robot mode through the wonders of movie magic. And here you have Darksteel in his robot mode. And again, like I said, all you're really seeing in terms of differences are the paint details. But because of some of the extra paint details, a lot of things come out that you didn't notice really all that well before. Such as the orange paint right here brings out the nice molded detail on his forearm. You got the same orange paint here on the shoulder bits. You also got that orange paint here on his chest piece. All of it just really nicely enhances the molding that was already on a previously pretty good figure, if you ask me. Now, unfortunately, it does still have the same problem where this doesn't really lock down. That was my biggest gripe with Grimwing, and it's still a problem that I have with this. But the coloring on here, I just think looks just a lot better. Now, to be totally honest, he has a much more Decepticon kind of look, whereas the lighter coloring had a much more kind of Autobot look, I guess, to him. One thing that I'm absolutely seeing in here, because of the paint and things of that nature, is the Transformers Prime Dreadwing. You got the dark bluish kind of color, you got the gray. Instead of the yellow, you have the orange here. That's really the vibe that I'm getting with this. So this is a much more kind of menacing figure, whereas this one, like I said, has more of an Autobot feel to it. But I do love the extra painted details. Like I said, it just brings out those molded bits so much nicer. I mean, it's gone here basically on the forearm, and that just blends in here, and then it blends in with the gray on the shoulders. I mean, I love that it pops on here. And then for the articulation, as I said, it is pretty much the same. It rotates here at this swivel joint, it moves in and out, rotates up here at the upper part of the bicep, it bends at the elbow, and then right below the elbow, it also rotates. The wrists rotate all the way around. The joints on this are really very stiff. Rotates and moves forward and back as part of the transformation. The thumb also articulates as part of the transformation. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. The hips move forward and back on just the swivel joint, in and out, rotate at the upper part of the thigh. There's like two joints here at the knee, so a lot of articulation there. The feet here are on ball joints, and they also, as part of the transformation, can like angle back a little bit, but I mean, who's gonna do that? I don't know. But I mean, this guy is just wickedly awesome and cool. And then if you really wanted to, you can leave these angled out, but I like tucking them away here for the actual robot mode. I just think it looks much nicer. But I mean, this guy is just a terrific looking figure, and like I said, has a very Dreadwing feel. And for me, that's one of the coolest selling points about the guy. It's not understood that he is Dreadwing, he just has that kind of look, and I really do dig that. Now, bottom line is, he is just a straight repaint. So for most fans, it comes down to deciding whether or not they want this one or the original. For me, color-wise, I think that Darksteel here edges the original figure. And if you had to pick between one or the other, I would pick Darksteel here. Color-wise, it just looks that much better in my opinion. So if you ever find yourself walking around Target and happen to see this guy, I would absolutely recommend picking him up. His alternate Ursa Griff mode utilizes his robot parts in a pretty good way that doesn't stick out too bad, like a lot of the old Beast Wars figures. In robot mode, he just looks powerful. But if you waited on picking up Grimwing, Darksteel will nicely fit into his spot. But that's about it, guys. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find our recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus, and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. When the going gets rough, you've been put to the test, but it's never enough. You got